Overcomers Unanimous. Powerline number 2. The road to sin starts in your heart. Behaviors and actions grow from the heart. But what is the heart? In this sense, the heart is not the organ that pumps blood around your body, but it is the seat of beliefs and affections. A very simple definition of the heart would be this. It is the real you. It is made up of mind, emotion, and will. The heart is the you that nobody sees. It is what you think when you think no one knows what you think. A road gets us where we would like to go. It's a path. It takes us in a specific direction. It has a beginning and an end. Sometimes we hit detours. A GPS system can help guide us, but only if the information in the heart of that GPS unit is accurate and dependable. What causes detours? Well, in the physical world, construction, accidents, floods, unexpected events or changes, unplanned changes in circumstances, simply put. The same can be said for thoughts that enter your mind. See, thoughts just don't develop out of thin air. They are based on information. That data comes from what you see, feel, and hear. In other words, our experiences and our perceptions. We can't always trust our experience and perceptions or our feelings. There is a story from upstate New York several years ago that a terrible, tragic accident occurred. A man went to the hospital supply room for a tank of oxygen. He followed proper procedure and signed out a tank of oxygen. The man was sincere in his beliefs and perception. However, there was a terrible mistake made in labeling. Totally by accident, the wrong label was placed on the tank. It was not a tank of oxygen, but actually a lethal poisonous gas. The patient died as a result of a very sincere move, but a wrong move, an incorrect move. Sometimes things feel right. Our heart says they are right. And then when we get just a little bit more information, we come to find out that it was not right. For the addict or the alcoholic, addictive logic or emotional logic sounds good. It feels right. It may even be logical, but it just isn't true. Frequently, you hear people say, just follow your heart. It rarely will lead you down the wrong path. Is that a true statement? Well, God says in Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Deceitfully wicked can mean tricky or devious, but it can also mean incurable. Therefore, the problem of the heart is irreversible. It might not be so bad to have a desperately wicked heart if that was all there was to the situation. But the character of your heart is not the end of the matter, it's the beginning. Suppose we could take your heart, place it in a glass cage, and then suppose that everybody could walk by, look in the cage, and see just what you are. Suppose everyone could see what you think, what you desire, what your motives are, all your secret thoughts. What would you do? Would you want to put a cover over it, over that cage? Would you be willing to share that stuff? God says that we desperately need a change of heart. God knows those innermost thoughts and motives, and a person might hide from everybody else. This is because your heart affects everything about you. It is not just your mind. It is not just your brain. It is the seat of your affections, what really motivates you to act. We often make the statement, put your heart into it. What we set our heart on becomes extremely important to us. What becomes important to us is what we act on. That is, how we behave and what we believe. Romans 10:10 says, for with the heart man believeth unto righteousness. Bad behavior or good behavior starts from the heart. If the heart is deceitful above all things, then it can at times be more deceitful than we could even imagine or comprehend. It can be even more deceitful than the devil himself. The heart follows a road. The true nature of that road and our heart is bent towards what God calls sin. What is sin? Well, sin is missing the mark. Sin is a misdirection or a detour. Sin comes when we take a perfectly natural desire or longing or ambition and try desperately to fulfill it without God. Sin, an acronym for sin would be S, self, I, initiated, N, negativity. Self-initiated negativity. You see, there is always an I in sin. When John Belushi died in the spring of '83 of an overdose of cocaine and heroin, a variety of articles appeared, one in particular, one in U.S. News and World Report, on the seductive nature of cocaine. It can do you no harm and it can drive you insane. It can give you status in society. It can wreck your career. It can make you the life of the party, and it can turn you into a loner. It can be an elixir for high living and a potion for death. See, like all addictions, there's a difference between appearance and the reality, between the momentary feeling and the lasting effect. The heart is deceitful and therefore can become a source of idolatry. And addiction is a form of idolatry. Addiction is saying that the object or the event, the acting out, is more important than anything else, even God. And that becomes a detour that no GPS system can help. Your heart is diseased. Your innermost being, the real you, your innermost personality, what you are at the center of your being, that part of you is diseased and needs a new heart. Those who need a physical heart transplant or a new heart have a diseased heart that's worn out with not much hope. They volunteered for a new heart with nothing to lose and everything to gain because death was imminent anyway. But God offers us a new heart. God can perform the miracle of a complete transformation of your heart and thus a new life itself. But how, you may ask? Jeremiah 29:13. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. God can be found. God can create a new heart in you, a heart that you can depend on if you seek him and search for him with all your whole heart. He will create a new heart in you. Search after God with all your heart and he will give you a new heart that can bypass detours with a new GPS system, God's power supply. Power line number 2. The road to sin starts in your heart.